Welcome to Not Just a Thing, brought to you by Mickey and Ting.
Hey Ting, how you doing?
Hi, Mickey. So this show is designed to break your mental models about what things are for, because they can actually be your allies to make your life easier and happier. And science and design can be fun and for everyone. So we're very honored to have two guests today. Jeff, who is a fantastic comedian and co-authored the book on behavioral economics of money. It's called Dollars and Cents.
Oh wow, Jeff, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Good to see you again, Ting.
And the other guest that we have is BB Sek. Hey BB, thanks for joining us.
Hey.
Hey BB, can you tell us maybe just a sentence about yourself? Just one sentence, like kind of an introduction of who the heck are you?
I was a car designer until I met my wife. So
it's her fault.
She pulled me out, and then she bring me to New York, where we founded our own design studio. So we designed furniture for Herman Miller, things for Target, etc., etc. And yeah,
you had a recent collection of African. You're in Dakar now, but you had a recent collection of African artists and designers that designed for a whole collection for IKEA.
Yeah, we designed. Yeah, recently I designed a whole collection with 8 other designers in Africa. We designed a whole collection for IKEA, a collection called Overrolled.
Excellent.
So,
well, thank you for joining. This will be fun. Neither Jeff nor BB really knows what we're going to do, but we're going to just jump in. So Ting, tell us what we're going to do next.
First of all, we're going to introduce this new game, a special slot machine called Not Just a Thing. And we're going to review a winner from last episode. So in each episode, you have the possibility to win and a graphical illustration from our designer Katya. So last episode, we had 3 slots. So 1 crisis, 2 things, and the 3 constraints context. So it's smell and chair to be redesigned to tackle the crisis of afternoon fatigue. And Rob didn't have a habit of napping. And it was in an era with little IoT basically now, and he lived alone. So what's the idea that was selected is this napping chair. So basically, Rob wanted the chair to give him compliments if he has troubles falling asleep, because stress and anxiety is often what trigger him to check social media. And if he feels kind of safe and secure, he can actually feel relaxed enough to fall asleep. So there's an audio voice recording to compliment him from the chair. But also at noon, that's the time, the consistent stable cue of 12 o'clock, as well as the smell of chamomile to get him into the napping habit. And at 12:20, after 20 minutes, the coffee smell is going to wake him up. But he also has this interesting idea of when he breaks the rule, like when he's tempted to check social media, have his laptop on, right? The chair actually detect his weight. And if he weighs 4 pounds more, which is when he has a laptop with him, it's going to give him smell that makes him vomit. So that's the punishment.
Okay.
So that was the idea from.
Has an attitude. It's got an attitude of some sort. All right.
Yeah, it's a very paternalistic chair that he got.
Interesting. Well, and if you remember, last week was about smell, and it was a chair. So of course we're going to have to talk about what kinds of smells would you have. And just about 2 weeks ago, a synthetic biology company came out with a product that actually has dog neurons for smell woven into the silicon chip, so that they can detect explosives at airports. But they're also now starting to say it can detect COVID, like 1 part per million, so that it can be put in public places and be able to be used to actually detect, like a radar network, for the rise of a pandemic. And so this is not that far-fetched to think that we might have something that could actually use the senses of smell as a product.
Fantastic. So for today's episode, BB and Jeff, we're gonna pick an existing crisis of people not sleeping enough. Basically, why don't we sleep more and better? And we'll pick the two things and some constraints to go with. So last episode, we tackled these various problems. So today, the crisis is under the purple one. Corey, if you want to review that, but that's going to be the sleeping problem. And yeah, great. The two things, we would love for you to each pick a number.
So pick one of the numbers that's white there. So the ones that are yellow are the ones that we picked in last episodes. So now we're going to pick something different. So Jeff, you can pick one, and Phoebe, you can pick one. Just pull the number away, and we'll see what the product will be that we have to redesign.
We pick it from Miro, right?
Yeah, from Miro. You go ahead and choose one and pull it off.
Voila.
You've already chosen my favorite numbers of these, but I will.
That's too bad. Yeah.
I will comply. I shouldn't think too much about it, right?
Don't think too much. It's just a number.
So I just pull it.
Coffee
toilet paper.
and toilet paper. Oh God. Okay. So,
they do often work together in my household.
Coffee and toilet paper. I've heard that there are some relationships. Okay, so those are the two things we have to redesign. It could be something to do with coffee, and that is open, and it could be something to do with toilet paper. So go ahead.
So
what's next?
So now we have to draw constraints related to tech and time of the year.
So somebody, Jeff, go ahead and tell us. Just pick a thing. Pick an apple or banana, pear. Pick one.
Should I pretend I don't know the previous coffee and toilet paper section?
No, it's okay. You know it. You know it.
Well, I mean.
Okay.
Banana. All right. Now let's see what it says. So zoom in a little bit, Ting, so we can see it.
Yeah.
I apologize for keeping it so dirty.
That's all right. So so it's actually, you're designing a product for now. So some of the other choices would be like you're designing it for 50 years in the future. But today's challenge is it has to be something we could do with today's technology right now that we could build and make a product. It can use a little bit of IoT. So a little bit of Internet of Things means it could have some ability to sense, and it could have some ability to like take action. It might have a little robotic thing. Think of a Roomba or something like that. But it's not something that like totally integrates with everything else in your life. It might communicate with an app, but it doesn't communicate with like your couch or your other stuff. It's just what people do today. And then the question mark means it's whatever lifestyle you have. Sometimes we have very specific lifestyles, like you're married and you've got 2 kids, or you're living, 100,000 miles away from your family. But today it's open-ended. So you can design this for sort of any situation. It could be for, a single person in college. It could be for your own family. Could be anything. So that's the constraint. And then what do we do next, Ting?
And we're gonna actually have one of you call up someone in your life who has suffered from a sleeping problem. So to find out one context constraint is whether they live alone with kids or not, but also give us a sense of what they struggle with, why they are not sleeping better, and how would they wish it. Do they wish to sleep more hours? Do they wish to sleep without, the unhealthy habits of checking, too much TV or screen before going to bed? And so we're going to want to find out more about the actual challenge before we go into the ideation. So Jeff, yes, Mickey.
No, that's good. I would just say, yeah? Jeff, did you agree to call a friend or somebody or someone in your life about sleepiness?
There was a special challenge for our guests today.
Yes. So you can put it on speakerphone just so that we can hear you asking to, if you're comfortable with that, or you can translate. But we want to get deeper into this crisis, lack of sleep or poor sleep quality.
I am making the call. Oh, wrong number. Hold on. I am not making the call. I'm going to call. I'll put it on speakerphone, and we'll see who gets embarrassed first.
Perfect.
Here we go. All right. Can you hear the ringing?
We can. It sounds just like a game show.
Hello, Laura. You are on This Is Not Just a Thing, the game show that's happening right now. Everyone, this is Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Laura is my sister-in-law, who is fabulous and wonderful, based out in California. Say hello, Laura.
Hi, everybody.
We can hear you perfectly. Welcome, Laura.
Yeah. Can you hear?
Thank you.
So we would like to talk to you, ask you a few questions about sleep, recognizing that you and I are both political animals, so this week may have been a particularly challenging one for sleep. But thinking more generally, your life in general, if you're willing to share with us, do you think that you have problems sleeping, getting good sleep?
I know I have problems sleeping. I haven't gotten good sleep in as long as I can remember, Jeff, probably.
For a little background, just because our goal here today is to design a product or service or something that will help people like yourself sleep better. So what is your living situation? Do you live alone? Do you live in a noisy apartment, a lot of light, anything particular that jumps out at you in that regard?
No, I live alone. I live in a condo on the top floor. It's actually very quiet. I don't hear my neighbors. I don't hear much street noise. I occasionally hear, the commuter train in the distance, but no, it's quiet.
Do you have any particular habits, good or bad, before you go to sleep? And really backing up beyond that, do you have like a regular time that you go to sleep, or a regular mindset, or anything that's regular about any sleep habits?
I think that's probably one of my problems. I tend to go to bed with a pretty active mind rather than maybe doing some kind of meditation or relaxation beforehand. And I think, like a lot of us, I am on my screen, whether it's my phone or my laptop, right before I go to bed.
When you talk about having an active mind, do you think that is what keeps you from sleeping? Like, what is the struggle? Is the struggle you can't fall asleep, or that you wake up repeatedly, or you wake up too early, that your mind gets you anxious? Any of what leaps out, or anything else that is the particular struggle that you think you're facing with sleep?
It changes. I sometimes will have a difficult time falling asleep because I have a lot on my mind, and probably because I've been sort of overstimulating myself with, looking at my phone and scrolling mindlessly. And then other times I have difficulty staying asleep, and it's pretty common for me on most nights, actually. Whether or not it's been easy to fall asleep, I will wake up around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I will stay awake for, I don't know, an hour and a half. And what I will often do is again, pick up my phone. Or I will lay there and think about things, whether it's politics or finances or what I have to do the next day, and ruminating.
Great. We only have like 15 seconds left, so I got two quick questions. One is, and thank you for your time so far. One is, do you have in the mornings a regular time when you have to be someplace or do something? Or do you have flexibility in your wake up?
I have flexibility in my wake up, but I try to be regimented about it. I try to be in front of my computer. I work from home and have even before COVID, but I try to get in front of the computer about 8 o'clock, regardless.
And the final thing is, has anything worked in the past to help you with sleep? Anything from, an Ambien to exercise or anything like that? Anything leap out that has been effective?
Yeah, an Ambien will always work to help me go to sleep, but I try to stay away from that. Yeah. And I have at times been disciplined enough to sort of sit down and do a little meditation and try to calm myself.
Great. And finally, just to let you know, the sort of game show chosen random tools that we're working with here, the result of your conversation and then the next little bit of our show is that we will redesign your coffee and toilet paper to help you sleep better. So
delightful.
Yeah, so I will report in the solution. It'll be cheaper than Ambien. Let's put it that way.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank
All right,
you.
guys.
Thank you, Laura.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you, Laura. Wonderful. So now we got 2 minutes for everybody to come up with as many ideas as you want, at least one. And you see your post-it audience. If you put in your ideas, we're going to bring it up on the mirror for everyone to see as well. So go ahead. Corey will set up the timer at 2 minutes. Go ahead and start brainstorming.
And we should do it on the Miro.
Yes.
Yeah, and you could draw a picture, you could write something, but we put some post-it notes there for you to get started. Usually it's good to have a product name, like it sounds like a cool thing, and then just type the idea. Like, how would you solve this? And you could pick either coffee, or you could pick toilet paper, or you could pick both somehow, that they maybe go together. Who knows?
But do we leave the post-it there?
Yeah, you can,
Yes.
or yeah, you can leave the post-it there. You can also bring things over if you're sketching and pull them over there. But try to type in the name and at least the idea in a sentence right there on the post-it note. And if you have more than one, you can add more than one. And then you're going to start the timer, Ting, and it's how much time do we have for this?
2 minutes.
Oh my gosh,
we
it's already
started
counting. All right. So 2 minutes, folks. That's crazy. Okay, let's do this. And Corey's going to watch the guests the comments coming in from our viewers in case anybody has an idea from our viewers. So if you're on YouTube right now, you've got an idea, just type it in the comments and we'll add it. Help with sleep.
Sleep.
Wow, that was short. This was a tricky one.
Short, yeah.
I want to ask for another minute. Ting, can we have one more minute?
Okay, fine.
All right, can you reset the timer? Perfect.
We have one idea from the audience as well.
Okay.
Corey, if you want to bring it up from Happy Yoga Life.
And I can move these. Yeah, I want to do this because that's the bad one. But that doesn't have to do with toilet paper and coffee.
Okay. Make the idea bigger. Let's delete the extra post-it note so that we can zoom in and see. Now I would love for you to check out each other's ideas and then potentially
if you
highlight
like somebody
one.
else's ideas. Okay, so we're just reading everyone else's ideas.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, let's
I have more ideas.
So we're gonna start with Vicky's idea for sharing.
Okay.
Vicky, go ahead.
Mine is called doom scrolls. So,
Okay.
a toilet paper is kind of like a scroll, and Laura mentioned that she doom scrolls like late at night. So by looking at your phone. So I said the toilet paper holder has Ting, you have to rotate your display sideways. The toilet paper holder has a robot arm, and it takes away your phone when you go to the bathroom, because we know when you have to go to the bathroom, you got to go. So it takes your phone away. But the toilet paper holder has a line printer, and it syncs with the phone and automatically continues to print all the doom scrolling from the Twitter onto the toilet paper, onto the paper itself, so that you can kind of read it, and then you can use it and put it to good use while you're in the toilet. And it lets you associate pooping with doom scrolling, and then it'll unlock it in the morning. So you can't get your phone back until the morning. It's not a complete idea, but that was the idea. Anyway.
That's awesome.
Can we, is this where we might build on that? Can I?
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
So I like the idea of the toilet paper connected to the phone, because, Laura talked about waking up in the middle of the night, which I sometimes do. And usually the wake up starts with a trip to the restroom, and then I get on my phone or I start spinning. So maybe if the toilet paper roll is triggered between the hours of whatever, midnight and 5 a.m., then it locks your phone, or then it's Internet of Things. It plays calming music or your favorite book or something. In other words, once it knows you're up at night because the toilet paper is activated, it then does something sleepy.
Okay. And let's see, Jeff or Bibi, what did you guys come up with?
My idea was to have the toilet paper next to your bed, and actually you count the toilet paper instead of counting the cloud. When you're kids, my mom would say, don't you count the sheep in the sky or the cloud. So you just count the toilet paper until you feel asleep. And the goal is actually the next night is to lower the number of toilet paper. It's also like a challenge,
Can you fall asleep before you cover the whole bedroom with toilet paper? That would be the question.
Yes, that would be the question, actually.
And what's the other one? It looks like you were in the middle of doing another one about the coffee maker.
Yeah, actually, you have a phone, and there's on the phone there's a night mode. Instead of having the night mode, you use the coffee mode, and so the coffee machine won't be able to make the coffee without the phone. So you connect the phone to the coffee machine, and you leave it there, and you go to sleep. So
it's sort of, if you want coffee in the morning, you've got to put your phone there.
Yeah, you have to put your phone away, and next to you have like a stand next to you have a coffee. You have actually a coffee machine that has a stand specially for the phone. So you put the phone there, and then you go to sleep.
Got it. And Jeff, what about you? Did you have something?
Sure. I had a few various levels of ridiculous.
Pick your favorite.
The TP roll up. I'm trying to gamify something with the toilet paper that will help you sort of, no pun perhaps intended, flush the bad, stressful ideas out. So starting at some hour, you have to write on a certain number of piece of toilet paper, 5 or 10 or a few of the ideas that are stressing you out. The idea being maybe writing it down or get it out of your mind. And then I was trying to think of some way the toilet paper might also wrap around your phone to prevent it from working. I didn't get that far.
Okay.
And the other one that I thought had potential was I call Sleep Bit, where you are right now, Ting. And that's basically having the toilet paper or a coffee mug work as a Fitbit, where if it senses anxiety levels increasing, it shuts down your phone for a period of time as a way to eliminate stress.
That's awesome. I think stress and anxiety is definitely a big barrier. So all of these are hitting on it right now. Wonderful. Let's see. We also have an audience idea. So we have Mary put a coffee mug on the bedside toilet paper one grid at a time slowly and count each time. That's very similar to also Bibi's idea. Put a few sheets. So thank you.
It's such a strange, I mean, we never know what's going to happen in the show in terms of the combination of goofy things. So we're trying to figure out how toilet paper will help us.
Well, I like the idea. I like Bibi's idea of the coffee maker being tied in, because at the end of the conversation with Laura, I was asking if she had to get up at a certain time, because I know for me, like, I don't have a regular like job. I have to get the 7:04 bus, and that can impact the middle of the night. I think, oh, I'll make up for it. So if maybe somehow the coffee was like injected into you at 6:50 and you had no choice but waking up.
And it seems like the thing is, we're trying to figure out, Laura has this problem. She's having a really hard time, but she sounds motivated. She sounds like she wants to sleep better. And she actually knows that maybe like meditation might help, or she knows that she shouldn't be scrolling, but her head is full of things. Maybe this week, if she's anywhere in the United States, she's also doom scrolling because she's trying to wait to see if the election gets updated. So now, Ting, take us through. Let's do a scientific analysis now of this and see if that changes how we might design something.
Absolutely. So the next step is that before we go into a second round of 3 minutes for Bibi and Jeff, we're going to do a more deeper diagnosis of what the barrier is. And in behavioral economics, we distinguish lacking motivation as a barrier and motivation action gap. So within lacking motivation, you can have your sister-in-law not knowing better, not putting it as a priority. Obviously, it's not here, so you can put it as like 1 to 5. Is 1 is very unlikely a barrier, 5 very likely. So rate it so that we kind of nail on the most important barrier for having our solutions to be more targeted. So the second with under lacking motivation is again social norm. There's maybe social proof at home. Maybe nobody's kind of having the right hygiene, and hence you just like look at other people and just go along. The other is lacking self-control.
Let me pull back on social norm, because what you're saying is we're very much shaped by what other people do. And so if everyone in the house is up at 4 a.m. scrolling, or if your loved one is sitting right next to you even scrolling, or if your best friend is responding to you on Twitter at 4 a.m., you're probably thinking, well, everybody thinks this is okay, so I'm doing it too. So it's a social norm. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and discuss between the two of you? We'll give you 2 minutes to discuss for each of these 4 barriers. How likely is it the actual cause of the problem?
Well, it would seem like Mickey just said, like, she's got the motivation, so I don't think she lacks motivation. I think it's a lack of self-control, which is in part maybe by the lack of habits, right? She doesn't have a regular bedtime necessarily.
And maybe she doesn't want to fix this problem. It's almost like somebody, a smoker who smokes a lot, but he knows how to stop smoking, but he doesn't run for it. He doesn't take any action to stop smoking, but he knows that he needs to stop smoking. He knows that it's bad for his health and the environment of his family and blah blah blah, but he doesn't. So I think she knows that she has a solution to stop to have a better sleep, but she's not doing it. So she's not motivated enough to. So
you think she has some motivation, but she kind of. Do you really think it's that she actually knows it? Do you think it's lack of motivation, or do you think it's actually she can't control herself, like it's a lack of self-control or habit?
No, I think it's not that much of a problem for her.
Okay. Interesting.
I think building on that, it's she wants to sleep better, but I think the solution she knows is to stop being so involved with the news and everything that's happening. And that's maybe too much a part of her identity. So she doesn't want to give up what she needs to give up.
She doesn't want to give up her identity as always being connected or know it or something.
I'm coloring in a little knowledge of her, but she wants to be in the know of the news. And that's the most obvious solution, is to give that up, and then her mind can relax.
Ting, what do you think from a behavioral science standpoint? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I think habit change is a very tough thing to detect. Sometimes you make up stories about why you didn't do certain things. In fact, you're at the end of the day, when your cognition is very low, your bandwidth is very low, you're very much autopiloting. So you would be cued by your environment to actually slip into those actions. So I do think habit is a major part as well. But given the time limit, we have just very little time left before we finish the second round. Why don't you agree, the two of you, on what's the score for these 4 barriers? And we'll review some tactics afterwards, depending on where you land on.
A score for this too.
You mean how much of it is a problem?
Yeah.
It sounds like we're saying the not a priority is probably 3 or 4.
Okay.
I don't think the social norms.
The scale is 1 to 10.
1 to 5.
1 to 5. 5 is it's like a huge priority. 1 is it's not a big priority.
I would
It's
say
likely to be a barrier.
between 1 and 2. I would say 2.
For the lack of motivation.
I think no, for the lack of for the lack of motivation. Yes, I would say she's not motivated enough. So maybe it's
interesting.
Let's
and what about social norm?
I think maybe the problem is not that she can't sleep. The problem is somewhere else.
Okay.
The sleeping is the lack of sleeping is a consequence of something else.
Yeah, I bet that this is actually very strongly against the social norm that she and her friends have, like that she's connected and she knows what's happening. Do you know, Jeff? Like, in other words, are her friends responding to her at 3 a.m. if she tweets, or is she like reading her friends in different
I don't know that,
zones?
but I do know that being informed is a big part of her identity. So
I would put that at like 4. I think it's actually social norm is a problem.
Yeah, I hadn't taken that next sort of step to it, but yeah.
Yeah, I skipped this one. Yeah, you're right, Mickey. Social, we connect to be
Lack of self-control, I'd say, is very high. 5, probably. I mean, whether that's because of lack of motivation or lack of tools, she doesn't have self-control.
This is high. Yes, Jeff, I agree.
And I'm not sure what you mean by habit. How to rank the numbers, but I'd say she does not have good habits.
Right. So then that's high as well.
Okay.
Great. So now we'll review. So it seems like self-control and habit is actually pretty high. So we're going to review one tactic card before you go into. So 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. Which card would you like? Bibi, pick a number.
For lack self-control?
Yes. Yeah, it's a random.
Random? Okay, yeah. I will pick this one.
Okay.
So I pull it or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the most effective behavioral economics interventions is to design social accountability into your commitment. So if you say, hey, I want to actually text a friend and I want to go for a walk with a friend, making that appointment, putting on a calendar, or even texting him like, hey, I have done my walk, it's more effective than if you would do it alone. So having another person to join you on your initiative or support you on that initiative, be your accountability buddy, is one of the important, one of the more successful interventions that we have empirical evidence for. So why don't we take that into account and go back to redesigning the 2 things and come up with an idea that would take into account the barriers of lacking self-control, not yet a habit, but as well as the concept of social accountability, and see how you would maybe come up with a slightly different sort of angle in designing the 2 things. So we'll invite you to go to your second round board, and you again have another 3 minutes for this.
Board.
So can you take us there?
Yes, yeah. I'll bring everybody here.
So that's the scientific redesign board. Okay. And now we're going to try to actually change the product by thinking about self-control and social accountability. Let's see.
Self-control and
tricky.
It's coffee and toilet paper.
And we have 2 minutes and 50 seconds, right?
Yes.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Social accountability.
Coffee and toilet paper. So we can say everything we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just trying to come up with a new product idea or riff on your old one and make it better with social accountability or with some way to cope with lack of self-control.
You have 40 seconds left.
All right. Cracking my knuckles. I got a winner.
Oh boy. Is time up? Okay, because I think I have a winner actually.
Okay.
Mine's
Audience,
better than Jeff. That's
who are
what I
listening,
decided.
you can also give your nomination of which idea you like.
Okay.
Okay, Jeff, we're gonna go with yours first.
All right. This is called Wipe Away the Rest. Each evening, you need to write down a certain number of anxiety-inducing ideas or thoughts on individual squares of toilet paper within 1 hour of going into bed. You need to take a photograph of them spread out and a photograph of them being flushed down the toilet, symbolically cleansing your mind of these ideas.
Uh-huh.
You then share them to a team site. So this is something that you do in teams of indeterminate size, let's say 4 or 5 team members. You share them that night, but no one looks at them that night because we don't want to give people reasons to be anxious. But in the morning, a certain number of your teammates, let's say 2 out of your 5 or teammates, have to verify your photos before your coffee maker will function.
That's quite a carrot and stick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it has habit, has social accountability, has even reward substitution to some extent, and it has some punishment added to it for not sticking to the routine. Awesome, Jeff. Thank you.
All right.
Bibi.
Can I go next? Oh,
okay.
Bibi, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go next?
I can go next because I think my idea has has connection with Jeff's idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go.
I say use the toilet paper to list your idea, best friend, and things to do before going to bed. I believe listing things in your head helps getting the thing out of your mind. And so it's like a sensitive toilet paper that is connected to the coffee machine, and the coffee machine will release the ideas in the morning. So the coffee machine will hold the idea for you.
I like that you're going for the positive ideas as opposed to mine is.
Right.
Carrot and stick. Okay, I'll go for mine.
Yeah, I think positive ideas are actually wonderful.
I don't know why my Post-it note keeps moving around. It's so weird.
I did it too.
Why?
It's magic.
It's mean. I like seeing everybody else's ideas.
Okay.
Can't you just zoom around?
Yes, I am zooming in on yours.
Okay. Okay, mine is when I drink my coffee, it sends a note saying that I'm awake to my sleep buddy. And at night, I have a coffee mug with a soothing tea by my bed, and it plays really nice music. And when I place the mug there, it sends another note saying that I'm going to bed to my sleep buddy. The mug holder actually has a slide-out drawer that automatically slides out for me to put my phone in. So when I put the mug down of nice, warm chamomile tea or whatever is going to put me to sleep, it opens up, and I put my phone into it. But there's actually another pseudo drawer underneath it that is open until my sleep buddy puts their phone in. So it knows and sends to me that I'm like actually ahead of my sleep buddy. So it's kind of friendly competition that I'm going to sleep sooner than them. And then in the morning, you get to see whose drawer was closed the longest. In other words, who stayed asleep the longest without taking out their phone. And then in the morning, you get to kind of compete, but you learn who actually won each morning by going to the coffee maker and seeing that like your sleep buddy stayed asleep longer. So we're creating kind of a healthy competition between sleeping and wakefulness, and we're using the coffee maker and the mug holder as a means of communicating. So I don't have to use a phone to send a message to my friend to say that I'm going to sleep, because that would like turn me into a phone user again.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah. Well, our time is running out. So thank you so much for your wonderful co-creation here. I would say if you can keep a homework about what ideas that you have created today, and even from others, that you might actually end up implementing in your real life, and see whether there's any impact you can bring to your own sleeping routine. And maybe, Jeff, let us know how your sister-in-law enjoys some of these ideas created. We'll definitely share the ideas with you to be forwarded to her.
Sure.
Any
I
last?
This will be your team of toilet paper flushers. So
I think toilet paper is more than just toilet paper. So many possibilities.
Did we know we were going to talk about that today? Not at all. Yeah, thank you, BB. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Ting, can you pull back up the whiteboard for a second, just so that we can just see one more thing? So just go to the whiteboard for a moment.
Okay, will do.
Now, one of the innovations this week was we actually started drawing. So actually, BB started like keeping notes about it. So he was actually starting to kind of think about kind of what the user would be thinking. So this is Laura, lacks sleep. She's at the condo, but she's using her phone, and 2 a.m. she's waking up. So that's nice. And then BB started, I noticed, I was watching you, BB, you started also starting to think about drawing something too. And I think that was interesting as well. So you started thinking about what this might look like from a product design standpoint. You know, this is really fast. I mean, we only gave each of you 2 minutes, so not a lot of time. But what we wanted to do too is I think Ting is trying to flag that there are some behavioral science tricks that actually don't make a lot of sense, like social, what was it called? It was social accountability.
Social accountability
actually is really useful. And you had some other hidden cards. We're going to actually, I guess, have to learn in future episodes what those are. But sometimes our own instinct about how to fix something, like lack of self-control, it isn't what the science says. And so what Ting is saying is if we actually pull back the curtain and look at behavioral science, we might be able to help people with little teeny nudges, little positive movements. Thank you so much for joining us. And BB, I know it's late at night, so thank you for tuning in from Dakar.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was very exciting, and it was actually fast.
Very quick. And Jeff, you have a book as well as being a stand-up comedian. What's the name of the book?
It's called Dollars and Cents: How We
and this is with
Think Money.
How to think differently about money. Excellent.
Yeah, it's great. And this was great. I love this. This was very cool.
Thank you so much. We'll review the winning idea and Katya Kuzi will be able to illustrate your idea if you actually end up being the winning one. So thank you both very much, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks, everybody.
So Mickey, just for our audience, you can still submit your idea by Sunday end of day to notjustafthinggameshow@gmail.com. And thank you so much for joining. We wish you a wonderful weekend. Restful and sleep well tonight.
Take a nap.
Bye.
Bye.